So I've really just got four goals. I want to help people get more, and people and myself, I should say. I want to help myself and people get more focused and get more done, navigate the inefficiencies of the professional world, grow as a leader, team member, and professional, and enjoy life without getting lost in the black hole of work. So with all of that in mind, today I want to talk a little bit about an article that I found online. And I think I'm going to try it out, but I wanted to share the article with you first, kind of walk through what some of my preliminary thoughts are about it, and then what I'm going to do about it. So the article is titled, "I followed James Clear's morning routine for 1 week. Here's what I learned." It's an article on medium.com. It's by the author Marie Kester, if you want to look it up. And I found this pretty fascinating. So I just kind of want to walk through what the routine looked like, what each thing is, and what I think about it, and then what I'm going to do about it. So number one, prepare for the next morning, the day before. This is something that when I'm in my productivity mojo, I do really well. And I end my day by preparing for the next day. And personally, what I like to do is I like to write out what my schedule is going to be and then map out what my meetings are so I know what meetings to expect and make sure I'm prepared for. And then I fit in the highest priority items that I've got for that day in the open slots along the way. And so that's kind of an interesting way for me to sort of plan my day and make sure that I'm optimized and doing the right thing. So I think number one is great. Number two, don't set a wake-up alarm. I don't think I can possibly do that. I've got kids that have to get places, so I can't do that. I love the idea of that, but I think probably for me, a better idea is just force myself to go to bed at an appropriate time so that I know that I get the 7 to 7.5 hours of sleep that I need, and then I'm good to go from there. So I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I can't afford to do number two. Number three, after waking up, drink a glass of water. I've done this in the past, and I think it is really helpful. We get dehydrated when we sleep and we wake up parched, and usually we'll take like a sip or two of water and then go straight to coffee. At least that's what I do. I think it is better to drink a glass of water first. And so I'm going to start doing that again. I think it's just a really good habit to have. Write down 3 things you're grateful for. So I've actually been doing this. I've been doing one thing that I'm grateful for. I think I like the idea of writing down 3 things I'm grateful for better because it sort of forces me to not just take the easy way out. Because it's like, I get up in the morning and it's like I'm in my journal. It's like I'm thankful for coffee as I'm drinking my coffee. Like that's an easy one, right? But if I have to think of 3, it sort of forces me to be more thoughtful and I think more grateful. So I really like that idea a lot. Number 5, 2-minute meditation. I've struggled with meditation for a long time. And I think part of that struggle is that I tend to want to do 10-minute meditations or 15-minute meditations. And then it's hard to find that time. And then there's always that fear that some kid's going to come and like attack me while my eyes are closed because I have like a million children and I feel like they just attack at unknown times, which isn't entirely accurate, but it is sometimes accurate. And so I think I like the idea of a 2-minute meditation because it's kind of like this mental mind reset that I can do, and it's quick and it's easy. So I'm going to definitely try that. This next one, I really like this idea a lot. Number 6, read 20 pages of a book in the morning. So I had not thought of that. Most of my mornings I spend reading articles like this one to get content for my newsletter or for my podcast or things like that. But I really like the idea of taking reading 20 pages of a book. I might make that 10 pages and do some of my article reading in addition to 10 pages of a book. But I think that might really help me get through some important things there. So I'm kind of excited about that. Number 7, do your most important task first. So yeah, I think that's pretty important, honestly, to carve out the time in the mornings to do what I know is going to be most important to my day. And that task really has to be what's going to drive everything else forward, or the most important things forward. And so for me right now and where I'm at in life, that is really primarily sales for my company Edgewise.media, where I'm selling, podcast first marketing content essentially. And so I need to do the things that are necessary to move that forward, whatever that happens to be for the day, whether I'm doing some writing or I'm actually working on a little bit of a podcasting book, or whether I'm going to be doing some live streaming for the company or whatever I'm doing. I think it's really important that I get all that done first. Number 8, right when your creative energy is high. So for me, that is in the morning after that first cup of coffee, maybe after my workout and second cup of coffee, not really sure. But I think it is important to do some writing and to work and create when that creative energy is high. Number 9, this is a tough one. I'm not going to lie. And I'm not sure I can pull it off, but I'm thinking about it. Don't check your email until noon. Now, I will say this, a couple things. Number 1, the type of business that I run does not really have emergencies. We create content for companies that they then drip out over a long course of time, and we deliver that content to them very early. So we don't really have emergencies. So it's probably fine for me to not check my email until later in the morning because I'm not going to have something blowing up that I'm just unaware of. But then I don't know, it just feels like it might freak me out a little bit. So I'm gonna try. I might push that to like 10 in the morning. I think that's probably what I'm going to commit to right here. 10 in the morning, probably not noon, but we'll see. Leave your phone in the other room when you work. So I actually kind of already do this in a sense. So I've got an iPhone and I use the focus thing on there to basically block out everything. So my phone never rings during the workday. I don't see texts. I ignore everything. The only thing that really comes through are calls or texts from my wife or my kids, because, you kind of need to get those, especially like when the kids have to go to work or they forget to tell you they have to go to work or they got to get picked up from work or just whatever else. So I do feel like that's important to be accessible to my family. So I kind of already do it that way. I'm not really worried about number 10. Number 11, work in a cool place. I got my fan running right now. Hopefully you can't hear that on the mic. It's pretty cool here in my basement office with no windows. So I'm feeling pretty good about that, I guess. Yeah, we're good. And this last one kind of made me laugh a little bit. Number 12, sit or stand while you work. And I thought, how else would you work? And then I realized that no, he's talking about not laying down while you work. And it never really occurred to me that I would lay down while I work, except for when I'm sick maybe. So that's kind of like done. I can check that box. Right now, I'm feeling really, really good about it. So yeah, I think I'm going to give this a shot for next week. I'll try to report back maybe once or twice during the week and just let you know how it's going. In particular, I think I'm most excited about planning ahead. I think that's going to be really critical. I do it now, but I don't do it as effectively as I should. I'm excited about the water because I have been it's been hot here. I've been a little dehydrated, and I'm excited about the 10 pages of a book to read every day. I think that's really going to help me a lot. So I'm very excited about that. So that's it. I'll be coming to you next week with an update and probably another live stream about another topic as well. So thanks for joining in the meantime. And if you want to connect with me, please do. You can find me on my blog at adamjwalker.com. It's got links to all my company websites, all of my other social media sites, and basically everything else. Also, you'll get asked to join my newsletter. I'd love for you to do that at adamjwalker.com. I send out a weekly newsletter about leadership and growth and basically the things that I'm talking about on these shows. I just write out. And that newsletter also has links to articles just like this one that I find interesting throughout the week. So please go there and join the newsletter. Thanks for joining.